I don't even know where to begin, right, with this Chosen Live. Before I even get started, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chosen Live number 61. Welcome to this stream. And boy, do I have a lot to say about this episode. I don't even know where to begin. I literally just finished dinner and I was rewatching the episode while eating. And I gotta say, this episode's the more, like sometimes you get them projects that the more you watch it, the less you like it. The more I watch this episode, the more I freaking love it. Like everything about this, from top to bottom. Also, apologies that was a little bit late, guys, but I'm here now. From top to bottom is exactly what I wanted out of this show, and now we are finally getting it. Now, don't get me wrong, I would have liked to have got it. Just open the windows. I would have liked to have got it way back when. I would have liked to have got it ages ago, but the point still stands. This episode absolutely slapped, and I really appreciate the fact that this episode started to really connect all the dots. It started to tie everything together, and we started to really see all the little details that had been building up to this point. Now, obviously, I've got my book and I've got my notes and things that I want to talk about, and then obviously after that I'll just be talking for however long, and well, we'll be going. Hayden's redemption. You're damn right. Oh God, I don't even know where to begin.
Hello there.
I don't even know where to begin. I'm just gonna go in order of the notes that I wrote down. Let's start out with the obvious. Right now, if you were there for the watch party, thank you to everyone who joined for the watch party. I appreciate you. But the opening of the episode, right, where you have Coruscant in the background, right? And I was hesitant. I was like, yeah, okay, you're not going to bait and switch me. It's probably Alderaan. No, it's freaking Coruscant, right? In today's technology, and there's Rat Tail Anakin and Mullet Obi-Wan. I'm like, yo, let's fucking go, man. Let's go. Let's do this. Now, again, I'm going to read out my notes. I'm going to go through my agenda, and then I'm going to let the chat build up, and then go to the chat, and then go down it, and then I'll conversate with you guys. But oh my God, 20 freaking years. 20 freaking years. That's how long I have waited to see Hayden and Ewan together on screen again. Now, I do hope that this isn't the last time. I do hope for maybe a live-action Clone Wars show, maybe telling like one-off stories. We know Hayden's going to be in Ahsoka, but just seeing Attack of the Clones Ewan and Attack of the Clones Hayden together, dueling like this. And I've got the blade that Anakin has in this. It's just it was just like, man, I'm so freaking happy. And again, I know people will say, oh, I'm so happy, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I've been championing this for 20 years, that Hayden, right, should get the respect he deserves, and Ewan. Now, I say Hayden more so because Ewan's always been given that kind of appreciation and that kind of respect because he is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And most fans, whatever category they're in, can unanimously agree that Kenobi or Ewan is the standout. Hayden has always been looked at as second fiddle. He's been looked at as the weak link, to which I've always disagreed. And boy, does he shine in this show. Now, on the flashbacks, right, what I love about the flashbacks is, yes, they're fan service, but they are woven into the narrative of the episode. They are woven into the plot. And the message and the story of the flashbacks when Anakin and Obi-Wan are dueling and fighting, it pays off when Vader and Reva come to blows at the end of the episode. There's a great full circle there. I freaking adore that. You see, this is, and again, a lot of my criticisms and critiques from episode 4 still stand and are still valid. There's still a few things here or there that I'm like, but by and large, best episode of the show so far. And I'd say about 80% of this episode I thoroughly enjoyed. And that's incredible. 80%, that's brilliant. With the way Star Wars is at the moment and where we've been, this is exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. And we got it. We got it. Not everything, but we're getting it. So time will tell whether they can stick the landing or not. But Obi-Wan and Anakin, man, seeing Hayden and Ewan opposite each other once again, and I was asked about this. Should they de-age Hayden a little bit more and all that kind of stuff? I'm like, just let's leave him as he is. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, the de-aging would have been cool, but we can instill the outside reason as to why Hayden looks older and why Ewan looks older. I'm just happy to see them back. I think it's just such a great moment in Star Wars history, where two actors that came from arguably the most controversial era have been given the most love and praise and appreciation after all this time, especially Hayden. Hayden absolutely shines in the flashbacks. And Ewan, again, his performance in this episode fucking carries it. It absolutely carries it. And I freaking love it for that. But the flashbacks were so amazing, so well done. And man, hey, Ewan and Hayden, man, they still got the moves. Anakin's doing the little spinning maneuver. They've still got the moves. Still got the moves. Now, let me just tick that off so I know I've done it. Right. The tension of this episode was through the roof. Like, you genuinely felt like you were on the edge of your seat. You didn't know what was going to happen. And based on the previous episodes, that is very hard to achieve because, like, when Obi's in the fire and then Vader's like, go and bring me Kenobi, and then the fire's up and he lets Vader, like, if Vader lets Kenobi go. When there's moments like that, you're like, oh God, here we go again. But this episode was genuinely tense. It felt like Rogue One Vader-esque mixed with Empire Strikes Back Vader. Like, there was the tone of Rogue One Vader, but with the walk of Empire Strikes Back Vader. There was like a hybrid. When like Vader's entering the Hoth base and he's like walking through the snow bit and he's chasing them and they're getting to the Falcon. It literally is exactly like that with the tone of Rogue One. And oh God, I freaking love this episode. I absolutely love this episode so much. I really do. But the tension was through the roof, and it just, each scene you were unsure. You were unsure if the characters were going to do it. You were unsure if Vader was going to catch up to them. You were unsure if Reva was going to, do a double agent kind of thing, which I'm happy about. That I'll get into that. You were unsure if Leia was going to get the door open in time. You were unsure if everything was going to come into place. And that's the mark of a great story, is even though most of the characters are probably going to make it out of this, what marks a great show is that uncertainty, putting that seed of doubt in the audience's mind. When they're watching, they're like, shit, maybe they might not make it out of this. Oh, crap, maybe they might not make it out. Oh, shit, oh, crap. And then it gets to a point where, like, Vader's like, I'm about to fanboy hard if I mention the next bit. I'm just going to briefly touch upon it. My man walks in there, right? Hey, yo, Vader walks in there, and he pulls down a shit, bro. He pulls down a ship out of the, like, oh God, no, I can't fanboy about that too much. Not just yet. I need to save it. But the tension was so good. You genuinely were uncertain. There were moments where you were like questioning, holy shit, are they going to get out of this? And that is exactly what was missing from this show in the earlier episodes. Not just what they were doing with Vader and Obi-Wan and Reva, but the deeper story, the beyond surface level, where it's like you're questioning, strand of my hair hanging up there, where you're questioning, are they going to make it out of it? And then eventually they do, and you're like, whew, sigh of relief. Next, the CGI. Overall, the CGI isn't that bad, but there are some scenes where it's a bit wobbly and a bit wonky, and I'm just like, hey, an extra 20 grand might have, gone up. I know it's 20 grand, but we're talking about Disney money here. 20 grand might have gone just a bit of a good way, just to sharpening the images up. Like when he's pulling down the ship, you can kind of see it. Like, it feels like someone stuck it on. It doesn't feel like, you know what I mean? It's like this pen, and it looks like that. Like, it's like, you could have done a little bit better there. But overall, CGI is much better in places, but in that sense, like, the CGI still is a bit wonky. In regards to, like, the lightsabers or the laser blasts or the ships, that was fine, but it's mostly predominantly when Vader tries pulling the ship down and then the second ship flies away. It looks kind of wonky, if you know what I mean. Next, the dialogue is better, still a bit cheesy and a bit corny, but overall The dialogue is leaps and bounds better than it was before. And I think for me personally, I was so caught up in the emotion of the episode that the dialogue, if it was iffy and poor, it escaped me. I was more focused on what the characters were going through. I was more focused on the journey and the story and where these characters were going. It was less about the dialogue. And as I've said before, what marks a great story is, what's not said. What are the things that aren't said in relation to the characters or the story or the narrative? And they did well with this one. There's still a few dialogue cheesy moments where you're kind of like, no. Like, there's different levels of cringe. There's the cringe where it's like, no. Shout out to you, Alex. And then there's the other cringe where you're just kind of like, you're looking at it and you're like, man, why the hell did they do that? And then there's the other cringe where you go, like that. You're like, yeah. So there's like 3 levels, but more or less it was just kind of like, like that. Like, don't do that. It wasn't like bad cringe where it was like, no, because I'm so in love with you, where you're like, eesh. Like, it wasn't that level, but there was a little cringe there, a little bit of cringe there. But it's better overall than it was. Next up, Kenobi is back. Obi-Wan is back to his prime. This dude was, man, Ewan was having the time of his life. He was probably, like, there was probably some quips back and forth with him and the set members. Like, didn't I just do this like 20 years ago? When he's like swinging the lightsaber left and right. And it's almost like, it's almost as if they took Obi-Wan out of the Patraniki arena from Geonosis in Attack of the Clones and put him right here. That's essentially what it's like. It feels exactly like that. And Kenobi, he feels like Obi-Wan. He feels like not just Ben, but he feels like the Obi-Wan that we know from the prequels. The one that, you feel comfortable when he's on screen. You feel safe. You feel like, okay, it doesn't matter if Vader's in pursuit. You feel like it's a big comfort blanket. You're just like, okay, Obi-Wan's here. Good. It's like in Harry Potter. Dumbledore's here. Okay, good. Like, it's just that kind of feeling of knowing that shit can't get too bad if Obi-Wan's around. And I like Obi-Wan's proactive nature in this episode. I like the fact that he takes charge. I like the fact that he speaks up for Leia. Again, like him and Leia, it's probably one of the highlights of the show. For me, like that bond, that connection is so good. And there's just moments across this episode where you really feel like you're watching Ben Kenobi. Like, you're watching that sort of evolutionary process where it's not just Obi-Wan anymore. Like, he's transitioning into Ben. There's that bridge between the two worlds. And in the episode 3 documentaries, Ewan always said, this was his last chance to sort of merge his Obi-Wan with Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan. But now he's got further extension and further lore to try and bridge them that much closer. And he does it in such a splendid way here. His performance has carried this show since episode 1. And he continues to shine. Like, the material that they give him, that they could do more with, but with what he's got to work with, he's doing a great job. And you feel like you're watching Obi-Wan again. I know in episode 4 it kind of felt like he was back. This was where he's truly back. This is where he's like, okay, I need to take control of this, otherwise everyone here is going to die. Like, I need to step up. I need to stop quivering and hiding away. I need to step up, say hello there, and then, use a blaster. And then also, I love the moment that he has like a speech. Like, everyone's gathered round and he has like a speech, and then it's just, they're there and they're there, and he's just like, there's more of them than there is of us. We don't need to beat them, just hold them off. Like, it again, like, I know people don't want to hear it, but I got Last Jedi kind of vibes. Like, this whole sort of environment, this enclave or whatever, it looks exactly like Crate, where Luke was buying the Rebels time or the Resistance time to basically get the hell out of Dodge. And, say, look, live to fight another day. There's another battle to be had. And that's essentially what's going on here, is Obi-Wan's like, okay, we just need to delay them. We just need to buy time, get you lot the hell out of here. And shout out to the 20 people watching right now. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. And then I will catch up on the chat once I've gone through my full list. But his delivery of that, Ewan's performance, the speech, the way he gave it, man, give the dude an award, for Christ's sake. Like, come on. Like, it just felt like Obi-Wan was just bleeding off the screen. Like, it was, I loved it. I loved everything about it. The Lightspeed shot when the Star Destroyer is coming out of Lightspeed, or it's still in Lightspeed, but it's about to come out of it. And Vader is looking like this, dead center, right at the at hyperspace, and the camera pans like this, like that, and then you get like a full shot of like the Lightspeed portal just like reflecting off of his helmet. And that's what I've always said. You can have a badass cool helmet, but if you do nothing with it, it means nothing. The show absolutely utilizes Vader's helmet so well. And they even did this in episode 3, regardless of what you think about him letting Kenobi go and whatnot. The visual imagery on display, the cinematic language where his helmet's there and the fire is in the eyes, and here you see like the light speed reflecting off of him, like it's perfect. And then he tells Reva to take a knee. She takes a knee. He knights her the Grand Inquisitor, and then obviously by the end of the episode you learn, oh, he knew the whole time. They were playing her. Like, they knew. I freaking love that. And I think that would be a natural progression to go on to Vader knew about Reva playing her. I absolutely freaking adore this, because it's like, again, I was extremely worried that she was going to get like a single... I'm sorry, and I have to say this, but she shouldn't get a single hit on Vader. Not one hit at all. And the reason I say that is because Vader is the type of character at this time frame, no one can touch him. Hell, in Jedi Fallen Order, when he approaches you when you're playing as Cal, you're not meant to fight him. You're meant to try and fight him and then realize, I can't fight him. I'm getting the hell out of here. This dude's a bloody monster. Get out of here. You know, that's essentially what is going on here. And I like that Vader just sort of, like, she tries to stab him, you know, like this, and then he catches it, spins it round. And not only does he know about Reva and all of her backstory and the Grand Inquisitor's alive, and spoiler, I mean, we knew he was going to be fine. But I do like how the flashbacks over the episode feed into Reva's arc. And this is what I was saying, is Reva is that character that will serve the narrative of the story, but they need to... But in my opinion, they haven't balanced it well until this point. This episode balanced it well. This is how it should be. Use it sporadically, not the focus, because then you make it stronger. And that's where this episode Reva shined. This was Reva's best episode because she wasn't the focus. She was a subplot to the main plot, which was Anakin and Obi-Wan. And I'm hoping that continues full circle into the next episode of the finale. And I cannot believe they did this. Like, when I said I wanted an Order 66 flashback of Anakin going ham in the temple, I didn't literally mean, let's see Anakin killing younglings. Like, I said, I just want to see him killing Jedi Masters. They literally show you him gutting down kids. I'm like, whoa. Like, that required some guts. Like, not even George wanted to do that. Like, that's a level where you're like, whoa, yo. And it wasn't necessarily essential. You could have just said, okay, Vader killed all of my youngling friends, and I was the only one who survived. And then you showed him taking down Jedi Masters or something. But I do like the way it portrays Anakin as like this sadistic serial killer. Like the way Deborah Chow directs the shot, where it's like a close face shot where the blue's reflecting off of him and he looks demonic. He looks like Green Goblin-esque. It's like a horror show. And this is probably Deborah's best directed episode of the show. These are the kinds of episodes that Deborah really shines in, because these are the kind of episodes that she did in The Mandalorian, where the tension is at its peak. You feel like you're against a ticking clock. You feel like, you know, all hope is lost for our characters. These are the episodes that Deborah Chow really shines in. Now, the rest of the show, Deborah's been kind of 50-50 for me. But in this episode, really strong. But there's one critique I do have. One critique. Can we please stop with the shaky cam? Like, the shaky cam is cool, but don't, like, you're going to give myself a seizure here. Like, you know, it's like this. It's like, can you just position the camera, keep it still, and don't move it? Like, it's just like, keep it right there. Stop shaking it. That's my main critique, is stop shaking the bloody damn camera. My next sort of critique, but constructive, is, well, in a sense, is the soundtrack for this episode. Now, for me personally, the lack of John Williams is disturbing, but Rogue One didn't use John Williams, and they made it work powerfully. Natalie Holt's soundtracks across this show thus far have been pretty underwhelming. The only ones that I've really enjoyed is the one where Vader's suiting up, the one where Vader's talking to Reva, the one where Obi-Wan works out Vader's alive, or Anakin's alive, sorry, and where Vader approaches the scene where he hunts in the tunnel, and you've got like that rendition of Imperial March playing. And I'll say this: the soundtrack is still missing something. It's missing that flavor. It's missing that spark. It's missing that juicy ingredient. That I'm like, man, where, like, can we get Imperial March, Duel of the Fates? Can we get Battle of the Heroes, Anakin's Betrayal, Jedi Fury? Can we get some of these themes in here? And I understand, you know, some themes have to be signed off on, but you put it in all the trailers and you put it in the TV shows. Can you put it in the live action, please? But I do like her rendition of Imperial March as Vader's like literally strolling at light speed through the tunnels, and his cape is flapping like Superman. But yeah, the soundtrack much better. Still missing a bit of flavor, but it's much better than it was. Much better than it was. Last Jedi crate vibes. I talked about this earlier on, but you know, the fact that you have all the characters surrounded in the area, and there's a big door that's blocking them. Even though Reva can just turn on her lightsaber and stab through the door, like, I mean, come on. There's 66 comments at the minute. Execute order 66. Be right with you guys. Once I get through this, I'll be chilling with you guys in the chat. But you know, she could have just stabbed through the door. But it really reminded me of that. It reminded me of like, okay, with the last line of defense, we've got to buy time, and we don't need to kill the enemy. We just need to delay them. And I'm also happy. It just came up on screen now when Obi-Wan impales that stormtrooper. I'm like, yes. Can we stop doing this with the lightsabers? The lightsabers are not toothbrushes that glow. Okay, they're beams of energy that can cut through anything. Like, you know, come on, like, stop doing that. The lightsabers look better in this episode than they were looking beforehand in like the opening, the Order 66 flashback. The lightsabers and that looked a bit wonky. They looked much better in this episode. Much better. And that's kind of my phrase for the last couple of streams is much better. Much better. Now, next point. Young Leia is still a scene stealer. The actress who plays young Leia, this girl has a bright future ahead of her. A really bright future ahead of her. She is an absolute scene stealer. I love the scenes between her and Obi-Wan. And the bond that these two have is further strengthened now. It's like when you watch A New Hope and then, you know, Leia reaches out to Obi-Wan, it recontextualizes that relationship and also recontextualizes that she calls her son Ben Solo. Like, she names him Ben after Kenobi. Like, her hero, her role model is Obi-Wan. Like, that is absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. And I freaking love that. Young Leia continues to be an absolute scene stealer in this show. And if there's one takeaway from this that, you know, isn't what we were expecting kind of thing, the way they've used Leia, I really like. I like the way they've used Leia. Now, in the last episode, not so much. And I stand by that. But, you know, hiding under the trench coat and Jesus, like, don't insult the audience. Come on. But in this episode, she was really cool, really cute. And, you know, they're like, okay, we need to climb this ladder to get in there and do some, you know, tinkering. And she's like, get me the ladder, I'll go up. I'm like, that's that Skywalker blood or that Amidala blood. But yeah, young Leia is a scene stealer. Love it. Tala and her droid. Now, we knew this moment was coming. We knew that Tala and the droid were going to go. Ned, I think his name is. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was inevitable. But when the droid dies, it is very much akin to K2SO in Rogue One when he dies and he slams down on the console to give Jin and Cassian a fighting chance to get out of there and buy time. But it does really remind me of that. And the way the droid goes down, he lands in front of Tala to sort of not just protect her in his dying moments, but it just the way the camera lingers on him and the score, and then Obi-Wan's like, no, we finally got a no up in this. Can we get a hello there? It's heartbreaking. The score builds to that crescendo. Tala's got the detonator. She shoots the door shut, and then, you know, her and the droid go out in a blaze of glory, and it's heartbreaking. But, you know, it was something that we all expected to see. It was something that was just inevitable. And I think for me, that's what Star Wars is all about. It's about sacrifice. It's about hope. It's about, you know, planting the seeds of something which you may never see, you know. And that's why Rogue One is so special, is every single character in that dies for the future that they die in an effort to create a future for everyone else that they would never get to see. It's so heartbreaking. It's like all these random people, like you just assume that someone just stole the Death Star plans and that was it. It's like, no, there was a team of people that gave their lives to get those plans to the rebels, and they died, and they're just another name in history. And that's true for a lot of like veterans of war. You just become another name, And I do like the angle that this show is kind of playing with that. I really do. Vader and Kenobi, it finally comes to fruition. Now, what do I mean when I say this? It's like the reason this episode had me bouncing all over the gaff is because let me just take a swig of water. The reason this episode had me bouncing all over the gaff is quite literally because the what we came for, which is Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, it's what we came for. It's now finally realized. It's now in a situation where we're like, okay, now we are on job. We're going to get this baby rolling. And I love the fact that even though they don't interact with each other, the intensity, like the tension, as I said earlier on, the intensity is there. You feel it when you're watching. It's like, you feel like, okay, now this is a Kenobi and Anakin show. About time. Like, Christ. It only took us, to episode 5, may I add, when we got one episode next week. So, again, I still have my critiques of the show. But this is one episode I will happily rewatch all the live long day. And the choreography between young Anakin and young Obi-Wan, played by current day Ewan and Hayden. The fight choreography was sick. Anakin manages to get a little twirl in there. Like, it's that old school fighting. And I love the fact that it still feels like, as much as it's a prequel-esque duel, it still has that weight to it. That when the lightsabers clash, you can kind of feel it coming off the screen. Powerful, very moving. And just seeing, Hayden and Ewan interact with each other properly. Like, that's the heartwarming thing to me. Yes, it's great to see Vader and Kenobi duke it out, but seeing a young Anakin and a young Obi-Wan before everything goes to shit, interacting with each other as brothers, as like a father and son, like it's beautiful, man. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'll tell you what, I think I speak for many Star Wars fans around the world. I got choked up. Like, I didn't expect them to do it straight away, like right out the gate. I got choked up. I was close to I was like, I'm not crying. You're crying. Like, it was, I'm dead serious. Like, it's this kind of stuff that I wanted for the show. It's this kind of stuff that I wanted to see. It's all this kind of stuff. It really bothers me that we've waited till episode 5 to get it. And I am hopeful that episode 6 isn't going to just be, half hour and then done. Like, I do want episode 6 to slap, because if it does, to me, I only really need to watch episode 5 and 6 and the final 10 minutes of episode 3. And that's my Kenobi show. That's literally my Kenobi show right there. Everything else, yeah, it's cool, but it's just lore expansion. Like, this is what we came here for. We came here for all of this. We came here for the connection between two brothers that was forged and then lost in fire. It's a heartbreaking story. It's arguably the most heartbreaking story in all of Star Wars, if not, it pretty much is. Of course, you have Vader and Luke, and that's sad. And when Luke burns him on the funeral pyre, and the score's playing, and it's sad and all that kind of stuff. But with Anakin and Obi-Wan, there's a level of sadness to it, where he was entrusted to Obi-Wan. It was like, okay, promise me you'll train the boy. Yeah, yes, master. And then imagine that the boy you trained rises up, so-called chosen one, rises up to kill all of your friends, wipe your whole order out, everything you believed in, force you into exile, and then try to kill you multiple times and burn you alive. Like, imagine that. Now, do I think Qui-Gon will appear? He will appear 100% in the next episode. 100%. In some way, shape, or form, he'll appear. Maybe not directly as a Force ghost, but he'll probably appear as a voice. And Liam Neeson wouldn't pass up the opportunity to come back. I mean, he is Qui-Gon. Like, come on. There is no other Qui-Gon. The Grand Inquisitor, he's back. And I'm not surprised or shocked. It's like, I knew he was fine. It was just a case of whether they were going to be stupid enough to kill him off, even though Rebels is their show. That's what was worrying me. But the Grand Inquisitor's back, smug as ever, and he's like, thank you for your cooperation, Grand Inquisitor. Like, he's poking at Reva, like, he's pushing Reva. He's like, hey, you know, you suck. Like that's basically what it is. And him and, you know, Vader had this plan the entire time of catching Reva off guard because they knew the whole time. Like that's what's great to me about it. And I got the flashback playing at the moment where, you know, your desire to prove yourself is it will be your undoing kind of thing. And that's that nature that carries on into Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin's desire to be the best, his desire to be the chosen one and be given the responsibility and the respect that he feels he should be afforded. It's in that moment where it's kind of like, man, this dude was probably suffering with this for a little while. Now, in regards to the rat tail, it's not 100% like it was, but that's a small nitpick. You know, that's a small nitpick. Like, I can forgive it just seeing Hayden and Ewan, you know, come to blows again. And when they come to blows, it's not like they're acting. It's like it's genuine. Look at their face expressions. It's genuine. It's like Hayden and Ewan are like, you know, didn't we just do this like 20 years ago? And, you know, yeah, I'm sure they probably had many quips back and forth about how like nostalgia and memories. And then they're like, hey, let's, you know, and also they probably said, hey, Deborah, Kathleen, everyone involved, we're going to show you how you do a lightsaber duel. And speaking of lightsaber duels, okay, I would be remiss if I didn't mention about this particular duel, okay? Vader versus Reva. Now, this shit was hot. Like, this was a duel and a half, if you can call it that. My man Vader, right, he's fighting with no lightsaber at all. He's using purely force powers, just the force, right? And Reva doesn't even touch him. Doesn't even get close. The only time that she gets sort of close is when she smacks her saber out of his hand, and he kicks her right on the shin, pulls one saber into his hand, pulls the other saber into his hand. I thought he was going to Count Dooku her. Like, you know, he had the swords. I'm like, are you going to Count Dooku her? No, you just impale her. And that's one problem I have, is that you're leaving Reva to suffer there when you could just put her out of her misery. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe that was like a plot theme that they wanted to carry over from Revenge of the Sith, when Obi-Wan should have, for all intents and purposes, finished Anakin off, but instead he left him there to burn. Maybe it's a play on that. But this duel was absolutely fire. I love how like Reva is like coming at Vader full throttle. Like, she's trying all these different strikes, left, right, up, down, sideways. And Vader's just like so nonchalant about it. He's like, okay, come here, force push that way. Try again, force push that way. You know, he's literally doing a Michael Jackson video with force powers. You know, you may as well have Smooth Criminal playing over this. You know, the dude literally is toying with her to the point where he's like, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see what you're made of. And this is what I wanted from Reva's character, is I wanted Reva to really have a motivation that was clear. And it's quite clear now, the motivation is that she wasn't trying to gain Vader's respect. She was trying to get an opportunity to get Anakin alone to kill him. Now, obviously, we know that's not going to happen. But it's probably not going to happen. But I do like the fact that, you know, aside from this being the best episode for Reva, this was the best episode for Vader and Kenobi all round. It was just just really well done. And I do love how Vader gets her lightsaber, splits it in two, right? And you think he's going to like dual wield, and he throws the saber over to her. And it's literally his way of saying, you know, like in The Matrix when Morpheus and Neo do that? That's basically what Vader's saying. He's like, come on, try it. Let's see how far you get. And Reva's doing all these fancy flicks and turns and spins. And all Vader's doing is like spinning slowly, left, right, up, down, back, sideways. Like, it's almost like the choreography of this fight is so much better than it was. Like, this choreography is good. It's top notch. It's sort of like a good blend of prequels with original and sequels. It's like a hybrid of all three. But you can sort of see the prequel fighting in Darth Vader. But because he's Darth Vader at this point, you've got to keep him kind of in line with where we're about to go with him in A New Hope, you know, so that they keep true to that. They really keep true to that. The soundtrack that plays when Reva and Vader are duking it out, it's fire and it slaps. And I love how the youngling flashback links as he stabs Reva, it kind of goes full circle back to everything that we saw from before. Like, it brings it all together. And then the Grand Inquisitor walks in. We knew he was alive anyway. It was just a case of, hey, where is the geezer? Like, what are you doing with him? I hope you didn't just kill him just for the sake of getting him out the show. But the truth is that Vader and the Grand Inquisitor knew the entire time. Like, that shit's sick. I love that. The flashbacks, they complement the current story. Now, you'll notice in the flashbacks where Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting, Obi-Wan starts using the Force powers move on Anakin, even though he's disarmed. What does Vader do against Reva? Exactly that. It's like, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Like, it's moments like that that recontextualize so much and really deliver on little details like that. That, you see, this is how you do flashbacks. You don't just go and throw a flashback out there just for the sake of it. I want it to serve something. I want it to serve the emotional gravity of the story. And that is exactly what these flashbacks did. It was emotional to see Hayden and Ewan again. It was emotional to see them duel again. It was emotional to see a Clone Wars, like Attack of the Clones type flashback. But it was also emotional payoff where the lesson that Obi-Wan taught Anakin, he did listen to, and he used it against Reva. It came full circle. Like that. That is the juicy stuff that I look for. That's the context and the nuance that I absolutely freaking adore. That's that, what you peel back the onion and you see a new layer of, no pun intended, a new layer of stuff that you didn't see before. Like there's something you keep unearthing. Each layer that you pull back, there's a new bit of information there. And I love that. The flashbacks absolutely served the current story. And this is why this episode for me is one of the best things in Star Wars, because it's not just cheap fan service. Like, it's put in there to serve the narrative and the story, and it works so well. Now, one critique I have is not finishing off Reva. This feels convoluted to me. It feels like an excuse to have her in the next episode. And if you know the leaks, that basically confirms that the leaks are true. Now, as I've always said about leaks in the past, judge something for yourself. Don't judge it based on leaks, because I'll give you an example. I knew 80 to 90% of the leaks before I went in to see Rise of Skywalker. And I came out and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I didn't love everything about it, but I enjoyed it, and I had a decent time, and I enjoyed it more than what the leaks were basically trying to convey. But the leaks are probably going to happen. So if you don't like the leaks, you're probably not going to like the finale. But I'm going to give it a chance. Even though I know most of the leaks, I'm going to give it a chance, and I'm going to see how they do it and how they execute it. Because in this, right, I got another thing I want to talk about, right? Let me, right, Vader's Walk with the Imperial March rendition playing. I've talked about that. Really freaking love that. Vader's power, right? Let me tell you what this motherfucker does, right? He walks through the hallway, right? Through the corridor, okay? The ship's taking off, right? And for those who have played the Force Unleashed games, like we've had a Jedi Fallen Order references. We've got Force Unleashed references. This motherfucker, the ship's taken off. He's like, wait. Come back here, come back here, come back here, come back here, come back here. Drop. He goes over to it and fucking rips one panel off, two panel off, three. He rips a hole right in the middle of it. Now, there is a bit of a moment where I'm kind of like, I don't know how the ship, the second ship takes off and gets away. And this is what I was saying about the CGI being wonky, is the ship takes off that way, but it's kind of like, instead of flying normally like this, it goes like that. Like it looked a bit cheap, if you know what I mean. But then there's also the question of why couldn't Vader just pull that one down? But I do like the fact that this showed Vader's power on a level that has never been seen before, and I absolutely love it for that. That this dude grabbed a ship midair, slam dunked it down LeBron James style on the floor, right, and then went over there like Magneto from the X-Men, bloody ripping that shit apart like that. Love it. Reva's backstory. Finally, we got some details with that and how it links to Order 66. Now, I already knew, well, I didn't know, but I had a pretty good idea that the youngling that was introduced in the Order 66 flashback at the start of the first episode, I was like, yeah, that's probably Reva. So I kind of expected them to do it. But man, seeing Anakin actually kill younglings, that's a level that I mean, I didn't really need to see that. I would have preferred that I would have preferred him to kill Jedi Masters instead. How I would have executed the scene is maybe you see the younglings get taken down and Reva is running away, and then Jedi Masters are stepping in and Anakin's cutting them down, let me get the saber. He's cutting them down, bang, bang, impale, bang, spin, bang, stab, all of that as Reva is running away. There's a shot in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 that will perfectly describe this. When the Battle of Hogwarts begins and Professor Flitwick, right, is running as you know that shot. The statues are going that way. Professor Flitwick's running this way, and the giants are throwing the axes and stuff, and he's running. That's what it should have been, something like that. But I give them credit and respect, for having the balls to show a kid getting killed. Now, they didn't really linger on it, but they basically showed you a kid getting killed. Like, it's like, whoa. Not even George went there, Disney. So even though sometimes the House of Mouse, does a bit of this pleasing stuff, every now and then they do this kind of stuff. And that's mostly my notes. I've gone through most of them. But this episode for me, I absolutely love. And, I really enjoy this episode. There are issues with it. There are a few nitpicks. And also, by the way, great book. Great book. If you want to read a good book, Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray, read this one. But essentially, there are issues that exist within this episode, as have existed within the entire show. And by and large, I'm caught up in the feeling of how this episode made me feel. This is exactly what I came here for. It's such a shame that it took to episode 5 to get it. Like, that's still a critique of mine. Why is it now? This is what worries me, is episode 6, that can't be 40 minutes. You've got to make that shit an hour, because these 40-minute episodes, man, like, it's really frustrating. Like, I'd rather they just do Disney Plus original movies instead of stretching it in 6 parts. Why don't you just do a Disney Plus original movie? Like, come on. It'll be interesting to see how they execute the Reva stuff, because I'm very skeptical on that. Because, again, if you know the leaks, it has the potential to go one of two ways. And I'm very, very cautious about it. But in terms of going forward, even though the finale is next week, I have a sneaky suspicion, with the success that this show has and the buzz that it's generated, I have a sneaky suspicion season 2 is going to be on the way. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, because when they said limited series, I was like, okay, perfect. Limited series run, don't overstay your welcome, know when to end it. But I have a feeling, Mickey Mouse, hey, everybody, and you're Goofy in the corner going, hey, would you like some death sticks? And Daffy Duck, not Daffy Duck, fucking, that's bloody Looney Tunes. Donald Duck, bloody sitting there going, that's more Daffy than Donald. I fucked that up completely. But, I just don't want it to be a case of where money trumps the story. Like, a limited story run is so much better. And also, I want to say, Vader has a good amount of respect for the Grand Inquisitor. Like, Vader was toying with Reva, put her on her ass, and then let the Grand Inquisitor monologue to her. Like, that's like, Vader's probably thinking, you know what, I'm gonna let you do your monologue just to rub it in, just to wind her up. I'm sick of hearing your monologues. Let's make your monologue the last thing she hears. And I understand the intention. Like, the intention was to leave her there to suffer. But man, like, in terms of the rematch of the century, after this, I feel better about it now. Like, going into the rematch of the century, quote unquote, and having the last 4 episodes, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel easy with it. I felt kind of like, okay, this has the potential to be really good or really fucking shit. And after this, I have a bit more. I have a bit more of a positive, optimistic look at the situation. But this is a dream come true right here. Just this whole episode, and then Hayden and Ewan together, man. Like, I thought my eyes were deceiving me when the episode loaded up, And shout out to Hayden, right? Because the thing is, the rat tail doesn't look 100% accurate, because it's kind of got like a curl when it never really curled like that. It just sort of, it hung on the side bit. But maybe, I suppose, they just it's before Attack of the Clones. Maybe he hadn't fully grown it out yet. But there's one other difference. Aside from the fact that Hayden and Ewan have got an order, Hayden bulked up for this role. Like, he bulked up. So when he's wearing his, like, episode 2 attire, like, his shoulders are fucking jacked. Like, it's like Ben Swallow trying to wear Anakin's robes. I'm like, I can see, like, you can see visually, like, he's physically built. Because that was his objective to, when he's in the suit as Vader, to fully encapsulate that. Now, I've seen people freak out a little bit. Oh, they said that Hayden's not in the suit all the time. It's like, well, yeah, there's that. That's like with the Michael Myers. They do the same thing. Like, the thing is, as great as Hayden is, he's only 6 foot. Like, Vader's like nearly damn near 7 foot. Like, you need tall, towering figures. So depending on the shot that you're doing, if it's a close-up shot where Vader and Kenobi are like this, like if they're like that, you can have Hayden do that. But if it's like a far-out pan shot and they're like, you know, maybe I'd say about this much, you're gonna need probably the stunt double or the because there's three. Let me Google it right now quickly. There's 3 people. Vader, Kenobi, 3 people. Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Hang on. Who is playing Vader? Hang on, 1 second. Right, so obviously Hayden is playing him, but there's 2 stunt doubles, isn't there? I think there's one for like walking and one for like fight work. So they're essentially just blending the 2 to like the 3 together, and I think they're doing it in a very seamless way. And I'm so happy that the flashbacks are included, because now it feels like Hayden is actually a proper part of this story. And for me, there's always been a bit of a disconnect, even though Vader and Anakin are the same person. There's always been a bit of a disconnect in the sense that they feel like 2 completely different people, yet they feel like both the same person. This episode really drives it home. They are the same person, just different sides of the coin, you know? It's great. It's awesome. I'm going to talk a bit more for about 4 minutes, and then I'm going to go to the chat, and I'm going to see what you guys have to say, and your thoughts and your opinions. I've lost my notebook. Where is my notebook? I literally had it like 3 seconds ago. Where did someone like Qui-Gon mind trick me into it? Where's my notebook? Okay, oh, great. It's right here. Fuck's sake. I think there was one more thing that I read. Oh yeah, the score. I want to talk about that for a couple more minutes. The soundtrack is better in this episode, but it's still missing that flavor. There's something missing. And it's those classic scores, man. It's those classic scores. I say the same thing with Rogue One. Like, it's, even though like when Vader shows up in the hallway in Rogue One, you know, open fire, and then like he's cutting them down. Like they've got, you know, Vader's like and the Imperial Marches team playing, and like it's like in a big crescendo and a big choir. Like I do hope they do stuff like that for the episode 6, because when Vader's like strolling up to this area and the rendition of Imperial Marches playing, that's what I want. That kind of shit is absolutely hot, brilliant. Much more of that, please. And again, young Leia is just, she's a scene stealer in this show. She's perfect. Like I know people like, oh great, it's a kid. No, she's very good. She's very, very good. She does what she needs to do. She serves the story, and it recontextualizes, you know, why she called her son Ben. It recontextualizes why she reaches out to Obi-Wan in A New Hope. It's because not just because they worked together before, but because she looks up to Obi-Wan. You know, he's like a role model to her. There's a moment at the end of episode 4 that I didn't mention that I really love because I was busy ranting. When Obi-Wan has his hand on his leg like that, and little Leia's hand just like puts like that. So sweet, so adorable. I love it, and I rarely say that, but they're really hitting those cues. Now they're bringing Bail Organa in for episode 6. Obviously, I think they're bringing it all full circle. But Reva, as much as there could be a spin-off show on the cards for her, whatever, Reva has to die in the next episode. You cannot let her live. You can't. I know I always say, oh, redemption characters don't need to be killed off. But within the context of where we are in the story at the moment, Reva absolutely has to be killed off. You cannot let Reva live. You can't. If there was no original trilogy, I'd say, yeah, keep Reva alive. It's a redeemed character. Let's see where she goes. But because we're entering a New Hope territory, as I've said before, as great as it is that some Jedi survived Order 66, as great as it is that there's more characters around this time frame, I still want A New Hope to feel special in the aspect that when Obi-Wan tells Luke the Jedi are all but extinct, it's quite literally because they are all extinct. Like, I don't want you to take away the gravity from that moment. You know, this is the problem with doing prequels and retconning stuff. Well, not necessarily retconning stuff, but playing around in pre-existing lore. You open the floodgates to a lot of mistakes, and they've got to be extremely careful with the way they do things going forward. But man, I'll tell you, man, my man Vader pulled up. He said, "Oi, come here!" Bang! Oh, absolutely brilliant, brilliant stuff. Now, again, I still hold true to what I said. I have genuine criticism of the show still, but overall, by and large, I like where they're going with it. I like what they're going for. And I think for me personally, there's just so much that I just genuinely enjoy. Yeah, it's great. Now I'm going to scroll up all the way to the top of the chat so that way I can not miss a damn thing. Okay. Right, here we go. Time to party in the chat for a bit. Food is important. Yes, it is. Food is important. How are you, Adam? Just watched episode 5 today. Nice. Blue Boy, what's up? CBO. What else have we got up in there? Sean, Mythos. Hey, episode 5 slapped. You are a bold one. I'm bold. Nah. General Grievous. Yeah. You are a bold... General Kenobi. I said General Grievous. I fucked that up. No one heard that. Yo, Hayden's Redemption. You're damn right. Well, I don't know if that's quantifiable or not. Need to double check that. Theory got what he wanted and said too violent. Yeah, but that, you know, I don't speak on theory. Like, that's not my department. The episode ties into the tragedy. Exactly. The tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. The lightsaber choreography in this episode absolutely slapped. Shout out to you all, Valley. Welcome, welcome. Kenobi! Did you know that Alec Guinness wasn't into Star Wars at all? Yeah, he didn't understand. Like, he didn't really. He just kind of took it as a thing. But then, as time went along, it became such a cultural phenomenon. He absolutely adored it, and he was really. Because the thing is, Alec Guinness is a very classic actor. You know, he's done a lot of like really classic movies. So then he does Star Wars, and he's like, "What's the appeal of it?" But then, as time went along, he was like, "You know what? I get it. You know, I get it. They did the prequel saber thing. Yes, they did. There is hope on the horizon. A new hope. Vader is back and he's at full power. It's like Ray Park returning as Maul. I mean, if they're doing a season 2, they could do that. Way too many people seem annoyed that they didn't DH him before they were moaning about CGI fit. We're struggling for nuance sometimes. Adam, you speak my language. Let me read this again. Way too many people seemed annoyed that they didn't de-age them, but before that they were moaning about too much CGI faces. Star Wars fans are struggling for nuance sometimes, I think. You'd be dead right. For me personally, I didn't need him to be de-aged. He was fine. He's fine. I'm caught up in the feeling of it, you know. Bully Maguire. I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. Yes, I agree. An hour long, but I want quantification on that. Source. Obi-Wan is a farmer. What does he farm on a desert planet? What grows on a desert planet? That is a very good question. Hey, Darth Vader's fucking ruthless, my man. Well, he used the fighting style in the flashbacks against Obi-Wan in episode 3, but the way Kenobi fought against him in the flashbacks, he used against Reva. Episode 6, Hope. He finally learned some lessons from the flashback, is how I saw him fighting differently. Yep. I don't want Reva to become good. Well, she's not really good. It's just more of like, she's on a mission. That's what it is. That's all it is. Yeah, they should have. Thank you, Sylvia. Vader pulling the ship is like Rey and Kylo Ren. Yeah, but pretty much, but more badass. Star Wars dialogue is always corny. Yeah, essentially, it's always corny. I mean, I was going to the Toshi station to pick up some power converters. Top tier episode, you're damn right. Out of the 5 episode, what's your favorite scene? Oh, when Vader pulls down that ship, like, and that scene is hot. Oh god, that scene is good. Yeah, Star Wars dialogue is always corny. Yeah, cringe can work. Cinema Legends, what's up? Maybe this is Leia from A New Hope, and maybe this is how Leia from A New Hope knows who Kenobi is. Yeah, pretty much. She talks as if it was her dad in A New Hope, and it might just be a retcon. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a retcon. They're retconning it a bit. I rate a 9.5 out of 10. Damn. Fair dues. I give it about an 8.5. You would be wise to surrender. Yeah, probably. And then... we all knew the Grand Inquisitor was alive. It was a matter of how. Yep. Mystic, what's up, dude? Yeah, if you've seen Rebels. Yeah. Episode 6, Hope or Nah? Yeah. 9 out of 10. The scene where Reva tells him where was he when Anakin was killing the younglings was perfect. And yeah, Ewan's acting was brilliant. As much as it doesn't really make any sense because it's not Obi-Wan's fault at all. He was shot down on Utapau, for Christ's sake. And that animal was killed, you know. Yeah, that was great. Moses and Ewan did great in that scene. I really like that scene. Yeah, they did take a risk with that. Yeah, Mythos. I said it earlier on. I'm getting to the chat once I finished my diatribe. Yeah, I mean, they won't go out of their way to, but this is what confuses me about Disney. They might tease it and they never do it, but then they end up doing it. And then they don't do it. It's weird. Yep, I love that. Yeah, the soundtrack isn't as great. I heard the episode 6 will be over an hour long. I need to check this out because I don't know. Kenobi episode 6 runtime. I don't believe this. It pretty much says episode 6 will be roughly 40 minutes long. Where are you guys hearing this from? There's one called InsideTheMagic.net. Whole series on the big screen would be around 5 hours and 20 minutes. Damn. Hang on. Meaning the finale could be 92 minutes long. That would be an hour and 30 minutes, almost the length of a feature film. Yo. Dude, if that's true. There's a Q&A afterwards as well. It makes sense that the Kenobi finale will be longer, since it's hard to know how long the Q&A session will be. It would still be easy to have 45 minutes set aside for that and still have the finale be 90 minutes long. Based on the previous episode, it makes sense because there are a lot of things that need to happen. I agree. There's too much that needs to happen, with all that. You got Obi-Wan needs to be considered dead by Darth Vader and the Empire. Reva has to actually die, and Luke and Leia have to be safe, and no one knows who they really are. That's a lot to tie up. Apparently, Obi-Wan heads to theaters in a 5-hour marathon event. Hey, that's sick. In the theaters, this would actually slap. I really hope it's that long. I really do. Battle of the Heroes when Obi-Wan and Vader fought in episode 3. Yeah, they should have. Yeah, no more baseball bat lightsabers. Zilla Beast. I'm tired of bouncing. Yeah, I know, I agree. I love the duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin because every cut to the scene was perfectly matched. I compiled the moments into a 2.5-minute duel and it all fits together well. Same with the music. That's sick. I want to check that out. Palpatine episode 6. If it's going to be if it's a standard 40 minutes, then no. If it's a 90-minute one, you might see Palpatine. I mean, it's not impossible, but I wouldn't put too much stock into it. But you never know. Hey, Fives' death was heartbreaking, man. It's just like the nightmare's finally over, and then he dies. Heartbreaking. Exactly. Finally, the show's going somewhere. Did a great job on de-aging. Yeah, they look great. Exactly. This episode shined because it was literally about the characters we came for. Exactly. If this show breaks the mold, right? If this show has a great finale, then yeah, thank God. Already, this show is better than Boba Fett. I was worried after episode 4 it was going to go in that territory. There isn't going to be a season 2 since episode 6 is the series finale. Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, Qui-Gon will be in it. Kenobi will get the better of Anakin. I had a rat tail just like Anakin was 5 or 6 because I wanted nothing more than to be my favorite character. Damn. I wish I did that. I mostly just I used to just cut my hair all the time. I'm at the bit where like Anakin just went on screen like that. Man, Hayden's face expressions, bro. I mean, I say this as a straight guy, but that's a man crush right there. Hayden's got them eyes, dude. I'll happily say that on there. Who'll have the high ground in episode 6? I mean, hey, you never know. You never know. But Vader's going to lose that duel anyway. He has to. Yeah, Mythos, can you chill, brother? I thought he is answering. Yeah, I am, but I'm behind in the chat. I'm catching up slowly. Can you just calm the oatmeal, please? Right. Exactly. Thank you, Adam. At the end of the series, Vader is being set up to fall again. Yeah. Right. I wonder what happened to the fourth sister. Non-existent. Non-existent. Yeah, and my mod's put in the work. But yeah, Mythos, you're still the goat, bro. But just chill out on the spamming. Because the spamming, I don't mind spamming well, actually, I do mind it. It's just annoying when I'm trying to read everyone's comments and like there's just a constant spam. Like I'm 20 minutes behind in the chat. Like give me some. No, come on. I never asked or expected it, but I'll do it right. See it? Yeah. Oh god, there's a nice little comment in the chat. Starting my summer vacation right now. Yeah. Natalie, what's up? I good, dude. Let me scroll down. This episode was amazing. Yes, it was. Wouldn't that take up to 4 hours? Goofy impression. Wow, I am really behind. Season 2 with young Luke as the focus. I mean, it could happen. I mean, you can pair Obi-Wan and Luke together, but it's like those episodes of Dragon Ball Z where you've got like this great moment of like Vegeta and Goku fighting, and then you've got Gohan and Piccolo going to go car shopping. Like it's, I don't know. It's like that thing of, can Star Wars stop stabbing people in the stomach and then they keep living? Stop it. Qui-Gon didn't. She has two. Now, that's one plot hole. Yeah, that's a plot hole. That is a big plot hole right there. Mechanical stomach. I don't know, man. I kind of want Reva to go out, Good stuff. Whiskey Tango, what's up, dude? Here is, the score here is the closest thing we'll get to a Hans Zimmer Star Wars score, and that is not a good thing. I mean, I don't know if you mean, wait, do you mean like, is that a rhetorical question, or do you mean, I mean, the score is all right, and yeah, Hans Zimmer's flipping awesome. Yeah, Reva has to go. Thank you, Lisa. His style does not match Star Wars at all. Yeah, I see what you mean, but I see what you mean. It's like Michael Giacchino's score for Rogue One. It feels very John Williams-esque. I see what you mean. Narratively, her death, her death makes sense. Shouldn't Anakin's lightsaber be green? No, it's blue. It was never green. It's only green in Attack of the Clones when he gets something. Angry that we could have got this in the early episodes. I know. Better be Revenge of the Sith style. Hey, Crow, what's up? Yeah, there's a pattern. There's a pattern here. If it's 1 hour and 30 minutes, they've got to go all in. Oh, Gungi, he's in it. I'm glad he survived. I'm fine. Hey, Life Upgrade, how are you? Personally, for me, I'm fine with what they did with Anakin and Ewan. I think it's fine. I don't think they needed to do anything else other than what they did. And I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. Will Yoda be in episode 6? Doubtful. I mean, you never know, but Hans isn't good in general. Doesn't write any of his own music. He just hires people and tells them to the infamous blam. Yeah, this is where me and you are going to disagree, bro. Like, Electro's theme in Amazing Spider-Man, that slaps. Like, come on, don't oversell it. But again, it's everyone has their own music tastes. There's nothing original musically anymore, and that stings. Hans Zimmer does evolutionary type scores. He's a different kind of composer. James Horner, that's a good composer right there. James Horner, John Williams, James Newton Howard. So many great composers. It's just, you just have to say it's just not for you. That's all it is. The whole episode felt like the writers were asking how bit of a nerdgasm can we give to. Well, I don't know what everyone's obsession is with Star Wars theory. Like, for me personally, I was having a nerdgasm. Like, I got love for Star Wars theory, but I was having a nerdgasm. Like, for Christ's sake, why is everyone so obsessed with that dude? Like, leave him alone. It's like, man, I was really enjoying, like, unless you meant it like in a satirical way. I didn't mean to read it in a negative way. Killing off Gunji is like killing off Grogu. Yep. Oh yeah, Electro theme chills. You're damn right. What did you think of Moon Knight? Different stream, bro. Different stream. Hang on. Right. just gonna pull up a nice image because I'm sorry. This the kid in me, right? If you'd have told the kid in me that this is where we would be a few years later, to the point where Obi-Wan and Anakin would be like, coming back, like Hayden and Ewan, I would have said absolutely not. Hell no. Like, I just wouldn't have believed you. But this right here, I freaking adore this. Absolutely adore it. Oh, I'm sorry, Arc Sucks Games. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it in a positive way. I love the episode and I love Star Wars 3. It's just the episode screamed his taste. Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, I read that in a wrong way. Sorry, dude. But yeah, no, completely agree. Completely agree. Managed to somehow... If they don't put that energy out there, dubstep before it was cool. Yeah, me too. I want more Hayden. More Hayden, the better. A Count Dooku series with Qui-Gon as their master and Padawan. Man, fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. I love that. I love that. But yeah, if you'd have told, the kid in me, like, if you'd have told kid me in, like, the early 2000s that this would have been a thing, I wouldn't have believed you. This kind of sparring between Obi-Wan and Anakin in the prequels, that would have slapped back in the day. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, to be fair, they're dual slaps anyway. It slaps anyway. There's so many great shots in this duel. Like, I love it. This duel is the best duel. Seriously, I'm not, like, no joke. This duel is the best duel out of it. I shit you not. Let me just pull up another couple of images. Let me just pull up this one right here. I really love this shot. I love this shot right here where Vader's looking out into hyperspace and then the camera pans round and it lingers off of his helmet. That's where Deborah Chow shines best. It's in moments like that. That's where Deborah Chow is really strong. Really, 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 really strong. And then right here, I mean, look at that. I mean, come on. Come on. Final duel. I want it to be, hey, my man Vader, they showed my man Vader trying to pull down a ship. I want them to go all in. Series about Yoda. Did you also see the hate people were giving Kenobi's mullet? Well, I mean, yeah, his mullet isn't exactly identical to Episode 2, but neither's Anakin, like, Hayden's rat tail. Like, I'm more caught up in the feeling and the emotion of it. Like, people just have so much time to nitpick. One last, and I'm going to be completely honest. Let me go full screen. Those people don't actually care about it. They're just doing it to hate on something. They're not, they're not here for the actual story, because the thing is that they're here for the hype. And once this show has been and gone, right, they won't come back to this show. They won't come back to these characters. It will just be a phase because they get FOMO of missing out on stuff. That's literally all it is, It's ridiculous. Hence the line, your pain has just begun. Damn right. Obi-Wan buried him. Yeah, he buried him. Exactly. They gave him the lightsabers from Attack of the Clones. Like that, man. Now that I would have nitpicked at that. It's like, come on. That's breaking canon. How did the Grand Inquisitor survive? So essentially, the Grand Inquisitor species has 2 stomachs. So she just impaled one of them. Yeah, but then again, I do see some fans that absolutely love his mullet. It makes me upset that the start of the show wasn't as good. No, I feel you. It's a shame that the episode wasn't as good. Vader healed him. And yeah, Vader healed him as well, yeah. There's people like you that actually have criticisms, and other side I feel like just hate for the sake of it. Yeah, don't get me wrong, my ranting in the previous stream, that still holds weight. I still have a lot of problems, but overall, I really enjoyed this episode. Like, I'm not going to sit here and fake outrage and pretend to be pissed off just because it gets clicks. Like, I'm not about that life, I'll rant and I'll rage and I'll get pissed off, but I'll do it within reason. Like, it's not my prerogative to get so be angry all the time. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Like, there's so many better ways to do things, Man, I love the duel between. Now, I can't play the image. I'm sorry, I can't play the video because copywriting and all that, but I will play the freeze frames. Like this right here. I mean, just seeing Hayden here, man. Oh, it's great. Did you enjoy Top Gun? Yeah, dude. Top Gun Maverick is one of the best movies ever made. I'll do it. I want to do a Chosen Live talking about that. I might do a Chosen Live talking about it probably at the weekend, because I need to put it out there. More movies need to be like that. One thing that caught me off guard about Obi-Wan and Anakin flashbacks is that Anakin looks too old. Personally, I don't care. Yeah, but it doesn't really bother me. You know, like we can instill the nuance and understand why that is. Episode 6 has to be an hour. Yes. I love your video and Robbie and Kenny. Thank you, Lisa. Obi-Wan wins against Vader in episode 6. Obi-Wan still seems a bit rusty. Yeah, but I think that's just because of the time, 1977 and all that. That's the only reason it looks stale. It hits harder than when it's split up. Do you think Echo knows about Five's death? Yeah, I hope they address it. They haven't really said anything about it. Can we put that in Bad Batch Season 2, please? It was confirmed in the Bad Batch. Oh, yeah, it was briefly, but I want them to delve more into it, I'll talk to the lads. Shout out to them if they're watching. But no, I really adore this. And then there's a moment here. Right here. This bit here. I love this. This shit breaks my heart, man. Like, knowing what happens to these two, and it's like, goodbye, old friend. May the Force be with you. It's like, and look at that, man. Look at that. Arm on the shoulder. Oh, man. When I was talking about Han's and modern day scores, I was meaning as in scores that aren't written by John Williams and other veterans. I'm talking about the scores by Lorne Belf, Junkie XL. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a lot of reusing and carbon copying. I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. Hey, you know what, right? Reva tried pulling up on Obi-Wan, right? She tried pulling up. And my man Obi said, yeah, yeet, get the hell out of here. You'll get out of here. I'm sorry, but the minute this shot right here, I was like, no, they're not going to do it. They're seriously not going to do it. Holy shit. They did it. They freaking did it. I absolutely love it. Like, I was close to crying, man. It just brings you back to that time, The finale better not be like the end of Boba Fett, completely anticlimactic and underwhelming compared to the previous episode. I agree. The finale needs to slap, please. You can't have an episode like this and not have it slap. Yeah, I know what you mean. It is a bit jarring. What was the fifth brother doing in all this? I'll tell you what the fifth brother's doing. Like embracing his like Smoker Bale Batman voice. That's what he was doing. Oh man, it's like literally like looking at an old friend, man. It's great. Seeing just these two look at each other again. Perfect. Look at this. Look at this, man. Reva. Like, it's like, Jesus, calm the fuck down, dude. Like, your voice sounds fucking awful. But guys and girls, smash that like button. Smash that like button immediately. You want to get some death sticks? You don't just sell me death sticks. I want to sell you death sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life? I want to go home and rethink my life. But yeah, I really freaking enjoyed this episode. Really did. Absolutely freaking adored it. It just hits in so many different ways. Man, I can't believe it's real. The fifth brother will kill Reva. Oh, you never know. Yeah, why did it have to be? Yeah, the CGI could be better. I spoke about that. Yeah, the thing is with the fifth brother is from Rebels, I always assumed he was like this big Russian geezer, and he's playing like by Sun Kang. Like, I love Sun Kang, but I don't think he's the right casting for it. They should have used Sun Kang in a different role. They nailed the look of the prequel CGI, and the lightsabers look great. This is probably like the best, like one of the best, like kind of ways the lightsabers have looked. Let me see if I can go back a bit. That right there, I love that. That looks like it's out of the Jedi Power Battles games on the bloody Dreamcast. This right here, oh god, that's toasty. Oh man, it's just so great. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Comes in with a side slash. Oh man, these two were going in, bro. And this was just a sparring session, and they were going in. This acting by Ewan right here. Look at the expression in his eyes. Look at the performance that Ewan is giving here. Freaking amazing. Ewan absolutely sold this. And then bloody look at this. Like this is prime Obi-Wan. He's back. He's back in town, baby. Oh man, look at that superhero landing shot right there. Now, if there's anyone that can find anything wrong with that, then I'd like to know. Wait, which character is Han from Fast and Furious? Han is playing. Hang on. Now, for me personally, I wouldn't have casted him as this character because he just doesn't. For me, Sung Kang doesn't have that kind of look. I would have casted Sung Kang as either another Inquisitor or a smuggler. He could pull off a smuggler really well. He's playing this character, but in the show, this is my man. This is him. Yeah, it's a bit. It's a bit. You know. If I could, I definitely would have had Gordy Hub do the score. Jedi Fallen Order score is so good because, you know what? I'll give you that. The Jedi Fallen Order score is good, very good, very very good. It sort of does its own thing without being a straight up mimic. The light reflects too much on Anakin and Obi-Wan, while compared to the OT and prequels, light really doesn't reflect on the duelist. Yeah, but I actually kind of like it. I like that the lightsaber kind of ignites, like, you know, and it covers them in like this sort of hue. Like, I really like that. I'm gonna watch this episode once more before I go to bed again because I really love this episode. Yep. John Williams prequel soundtrack. Yeah. Was anyone recast in the original movies? Not that I know of. Oh, they had younger actors, but other than that, I don't think they recast anyone. It's not like they did a Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle situation. Now look at that. Look at that smile. Now this moment right here, this was hot right here. This. When Vader walks in here and the rendition of the Imperial March is playing, right? Hang on, let me go back. When the rendition of the Imperial March is playing and his cape is flapping, this was hot. And then my man decides to pull up, right? He pulls up, pulls the ship down. He pulls the ship, that slam dunks that ship right on the floor, right? He walks over to it, okay? And when he walks over to it, there is literally no hesitation from him to go and start ripping it to shreds. Like, he pulls that shit wide open. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then look, he toys with Reva, he taunts Reva, and he takes this saber here, right? And what I love about this is Vader gets the saber and he just like, here you go, catch. Let's see how good you are. Let's go and prove yourself. Let's see how good you are. Love it. And this bit here where she gets a hit, right, and she hits the blade out of his hand, this dude decides to kick her right in the shin and then bloody force pull both sabers to hit. Man, Vader's that freaking dude, man. I'm so happy they got him right. Well done. And then she gets impaled like that. Did you know that Darth Vader's suit was actually burned for real? Yeah. Oh, actually, no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all, actually. That's a fun fact. Dude, I was like, no, I can't believe it. I was watching Star Wars Theory's reaction to it, man. It was just so happy to see him, like, and I watched Blind Wave react to it. I watched The Real Rejects. I watched Nikki and Steven react. I watched everyone react to it, and man, everyone had the same feeling. It was just like, holy shit, this doesn't feel real, you know? And I like how this scene here, like, there's like 100 stormtroopers coming in. It feels like the scene in Phantom Menace when the battle droids are attacking Theed. And I'm hoping I won't get copyright claimed. It's great. It's great. Yeah, like Vader last episode, he's walking up and in there like Braun Strowman going, "You were warned what defeat would bring." And I'm like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. But Vader in this episode was fucking on job. Vader was on job in this episode. Holy shit, he was on job. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love everything about this episode. This is exactly what I came here for. Exactly what I came here for. And to be honest, once this show is said and done, I really do hope, and I really, 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 really do hope, and I'm praying that I'm right when I say this. Can we get some like flashbacks? Sorry, not flashbacks. Can we get like maybe some more content with Obi, like Ewan and Hayden, like more content with those two, please, like more content. I would love it. Like live action Clone Wars, maybe do a 6-episode run. Like, come on, like do stuff like that, please. I mean, fucking hell, mate. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Really love it. Oh, man. Oh, guys and girls, final 10 minutes and then I'm going to end. But this episode gave me everything I wanted and more. And I'm so happy. I really am. This is exactly what I wanted. I got what I wanted. And, I just can't complain. I really cannot complain. I'm so happy. This is exactly what I came here for. I can't wait to see the little edits and compilations that people are going to do of their fight scenes now. I can't wait. It's going to be great to see what people come up with. I'm going to close Disney Plus in case Mickey Mouse decides to come and ban my stream. But again, I like how like the lessons that we used with Kenobi and Obi-Wan, it feeds into the narrative of what's going on in the episode, and it's not just thrown in there for the sake of it. There's a shot right here that I love as well. I love this shot. This shot's great. There you go. That shot right there. I love it. Love that. Disney did the impossible this episode. Yeah, not another Braun Strowman thing. Elby says assault dark deeds. Oh, let me pull it up. Like I won't pull it up on this because of copyright, but let me see if I can hear it. People were saying that they could hear Qui-Gon in the episode, Let me see if I can hear it. What kind of fight was Obi-Wan looking to buy? A Maul. Ha! 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 You know the rules and so do I. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Credit to whoever gets that reference. Right. Let me just check it. So you say it's 35-31, yeah? It's very subtle. I'm just trying to listen to it now. Oh, yeah, I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. Dark deeds. I hear it. Just faintly. Just very faintly, but I hear it. I hear it. Very well spotted. Very well spotted. But hey, I'm not surprised there'll be, man. Soundtracks of your department. That's sick, man. Very good spot. Very good spot. A live action Clone Wars. Yeah, exactly, man. Live action Clone Wars. Maybe do like contained stories where we just get to see like, little moments, Do you think the movie E.T. is a Star Wars movie? No. I know E.T.'s in Phantom Menace, but no. Played during Fallen Order. Mm-hmm. Vader is Terry in the match with Reva, but Terry wins with no effort. Ha! Plot twist, Wade survives and kills Vader. Yeah. R.I.P. Rest in peace, Wade. Everyone raise a toast to Wade. You're welcome. 50 quid. Well, here's my response to your little 50 quid statement.
Hey, come on! Open your eyes! No!
You are in big doo-doo this time.
Yeah, there we go. 50 quid. Yeah, hello to you. Oh, God, that Braun Strowman stuff. Jesus. But this was nice. And this man Vader pulled. Oh, I love this bit here. This bit here where he disarms him. So clean. Like he disarms him. He elbows him in the back, spins past him, disarms him, and then it's just a great moment here between. Look at that. Just the hand on the shoulder, and oh man, you forgot.
And
there you go. Quandale Dingle Fartsman. Quandale Dingle Fartsman. Oh, that's a hell of a name. This episode was crazy. Yes, it was. It was indeed. Vader was he was walking like a Karen in the last episode. This episode, he was walking like the Undertaker. Let he fly on the screen. Episode 5, working the oatmeal to a T. Wow. Oh, I lost it. Almost definitely getting Qui-Gon next episode, if not a riot. Do you think he'll appear as a Force ghost or just a voice? He can't appear as a Force ghost. He can only be a voice. He can only be a voice. Unless he appears as a Force ghost in Obi-Wan's head or something. I'd like to talk... I'd like to talk to your manager, please. Thanks, I was about to ask for the TED clip. You're welcome. Force choking intensifies. I'll spot for the old themes for you. Thank you, Albie. Cheers, bro. I appreciate that. Hayden did a great job acting in this one. He's gotten a lot better. Hayden was never bad, though. This is the thing. Hayden was never, ever bad. It's just, he wasn't, the dialogue he was given was very sort of iffy, but people were like so hesitant to give him a chance, you know? They just said, oh, he can't, he's whiny, he's this, that, whatever. It's like, man, hey, don't disrespect my boy. Hayden is that dude, right? Hayden is that dude. He's always been that dude since day one. Since day freaking one. Honestly, I really love this episode. I really do. I love everything about it. No, not everything about it. There's parts of it that I don't like, but by and large, I really do enjoy it. Oh, man. Wasn't Qui-Gon a ghost in Clone Wars? In the Mortis arc, he appears, but it's not as a ghost necessarily. It's more just through the Force. So they could do that in a visual sort of way. And the one thing that I'm kind of gutted about with them using different scores and renditions, I'm praying for a rendition of Qui-Gon's theme, you know, dun, 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 you know, a Qui-Gon theme, please. That was a strong Force planet. Exactly. It's because it was a Force planet. By and large, he can't do it, though. Yeah, episode 5 is the best episode. Hayden looks like his younger self, and I love that touch. Yep. As people are saying Anakin was whiny in the prequels, Hayden did his job. He's supposed to be whiny. Exactly. And Luke was whiny as hell. Luke was always moaning. Oh, but this, that, whatever. It's like all the Skywalker boys are whinge bags. All of them.
That's great, guy.
They're all moaning. They're all upset. They're all crying. They're all, you know, it's just, oh, God, it's just normal. It's just normal. Guys, this episode absolutely slaps. It slaps. I really love this episode. I'm so happy about this episode, man. Now, again, I've seen some people kind of say that this episode was wasted potential. No, I disagree. This episode wasn't. The show is. This episode is. This episode is exactly what I wanted it to be. I just wish that we didn't wait till episode 5 to flipping get it, you know? That's the only heartbreaking thing about it, you know? I just wish there was more to go off of, you know? Bummer. But it's time to bring the stream to an end. Again, I love this episode. It's very unlikely that Qui-Gon's theme will return. I was hoping for TPM Anakin theme. No, but like if Qui-Gon appears, why would Anakin's theme play? Like that's what I mean. Like I'd rather have Qui-Gon's theme playing. But Anakin's theme, you know, can play like Anakin's theme should have played when Anakin turned around here. Like the OG Anakin theme, that should have played there. Hayden looks a lot more swole. Yeah, Hayden bulked up. He got big. More weight and mean to the prequels. Dare I say, Hayden's probably bigger than he was in Revenge of the Sith. He's got more abs in Revenge of the Sith, but he looks bigger here. Yeah, most adults hate teenagers. And I'm going to be, again, you know, let's mean for Anakin's theme here, not next week. Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. But that's what I meant. I meant Qui-Gon's theme, you know, for the next thing. Exactly. They give more weight and more meaning. And also, as I've said before, everyone thinks they're Han Solo talking to women. No, you're Anakin. Stop it. We don't talk about Rey Skywalker here. No, we do not. Predictions for episode 6. All in. Just all in. Blue Saber and was Rey so cool. That Blue Saber and 7 was... I'm confused. Are you trying to say that Anakin's saber is basically hers? No. Would you say this show is better than Book? Yeah, this show's leaps and bounds better than Book of Boba Fett. Like when episode 4 hit, I was worried, but they picked it up. I'll give them their credit. They picked it up. All right, guys. I'm going to end now. I've got to get up in a few hours, but I wanted to stream, wanted to come on here and talk about it. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. If it's your first time here on the channel, then make sure that you subscribe. Welcome to the chosen family. And yeah, this Sunday, going to be streaming with the lads. I'm going to be talking a lot of pop culture and a lot of good stuff. But this episode, man, this episode was great. And as of right now, I'm sat on 7,151 subs. So if you're new, smash that subscription button. We're going to 8K. Stop motion now. Bye. Take care, Albie. Hope it's good. See you later, Army Men Live. Take care. Andrew, thanks for the stream. Cheers. It's my pleasure. Andrew, you know, it's what I do. See you later, Clovery. See you later, Lisa. See you later, Adam. Take care, brother. Yeah, take care. Oh, 2 stop motion people. Collab. Okay. Blue Boy, take care. Mystic, take care. Anakin Saber is not red. Didn't need to be. 8K party soon. Maybe. We'll see. See you later, CK World. Tristan, take care. Good night, Adam. All right. Okay, everybody. You guys take care of yourself. Good night, Bryce. And I will see you all in another stream soon.